Hi, this is Debbie Kaufman, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I want to show you the 3 cards we did for the product base class I had in February. We used the Storybook Friends. I'll show you the stamp set in a minute. We did this one with a little antiquing, and notice this frame is what we used on this card. Nothing's on the inside in any of them. And then this one, which used the punch outs, and this frame, and this one, which we use blends and colored, and use this frame, and this is a pop-up card. I wanted a vegetable garden instead of the Easter card, so we did this. So I am going to show you how we did the cards. The stamp sets are Storybook Friends and Storybook Garden. So you have your vegetables and your rabbits and critters, and then you have your Storybook Garden patch dies, and that's where you have all the vegetables and the watering can and different things. And then you have the Storybook Friends, which that has the frames. Now on the frames, on 2 of them, I did use adhesive sheets. So we're going to go ahead and set those aside. And this is the kit that the people received, the first kit. And I will be doing a PDF. This is Misty Moonlight, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Basic Beige, 5 1/4 by 4. Crumb Cake, 5 1/4 by 4. The die that I used for this is, I die cut it out. I saved the circle that came out of it, because I'm going to use that on another card, so that's saved. And then I ran it through again with the Basic Beige. So the first thing we're going to do is mountain up on the inside. We're going to burnish our card. I've not done a video for a while, so we'll see how this goes. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake, and what I want to do is I want to make it antique, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I am using the crumb cake, and I'm going to go ahead and just lay a piece of copy paper down, because I don't want to wipe this off, so I'm kind of lazy today on that. And I am using Elements of Text. I saw this stamp set and I thought, I don't really need this stamp set. And then I saw a card by Sarah Fitch that was one of my upline, Lynn Starzl's people, and they did a neat card, so I had to get it. So I'm using this one, and you really can't read the words. I can tell that the T's, I look at the direction of the T's to make sure that I have the words upright. Ink it up, stamp off, and stamp. So it's lighter. And you just stamp off. That's what you got to remember to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now remember that, because it's kind of going to be covering up with the thing. Now I also want to do the envelope. So I am going to go ahead and do the envelope while I have the stamp set out, and I'm just going to stamp off. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to do my centerpiece. Here it is. Now I want that even lighter, so I'm going to stamp off twice. Second generation. Is it second generation, I think it's called? And make sure my T's are up. 1, 2, 1, two. So you can see it's just kind of, it's hard to see on this. There we go. And since I also have the ink out, I'm going to use Thank You Very Much. And it's in the Storybook Friends. And I'll go ahead and stamp that right on here in crumb cake. Okay. So that one's done. And then also in the Elements of Text is a splotch. I don't know what you call it. I call it a splotch. And I'm going to go ahead and splotch up my card. I'm using this full strength. And then also on the envelope. So our envelope is done. That's all the stamping. I can now close my ink pad. I'll clean those in a minute. And remove this. And what we'll do is we're going to assemble. So you just add your adhesive. I like to use my, if I can find it, I just had it. My silicone mat, because I like to get to the corners of my, so I can go off a little bit. You can use adhesive, Tombow of your choice. And make sure you have the right side up the T's. And corner to corner. And that's down. And we'll go ahead and put the inside in again. I like to go off my edge. And we'll put that on the inside. You can put whatever you want. I didn't know what to put in. I'm just going to use them to write in. Okay. And then you see you have this, and I have the adhesive sheets on the back. So I do have my take a pick tool, but a lot of times these little pieces will come out. Boy, you sure can tell I haven't done a video in a while. And get this. And see, some of those pieces just went ahead and came out, and the rest I'm just going to poke out. When your frame is this narrow, or your piece is this narrow, you can put glue on your silicone sheet, or lay this on your silicone sheet, I should say, and just apply the glue and then tap it off. But I went ahead and did this, so you're just going to put that right there. Oops, I got that little piece there. Okay. And then see how it lays down. And then this I just put flat. Now I want to show you a little trick. One of my ladies does this. She takes her corner dimensionals and just cuts it. She just cuts them. And what she does is we don't want the sticky stuff there, so we're just gonna kind of cut them and use these as a guide. The question I get asked is, should we dimensional them up or not? Well, there's no, I kept the back on there, so there's no sticky on here. So she just lays them there, and then you can lay your piece on there. You want that dimensionaled up, or would you rather go flat? So that's how you tell if you really want to do a dimensional. I think I'm going to go ahead and dimensional them up and put these little guys off to the side. And I have scrap pieces here that I'll be using. I use we'll take these off. I am going to try and do, I'll pause in between, but since this was a product-based class, I think and it's all with one stamp set, I think I'll do all the videos together. We'll see. Okay. And now I'm going to add the antique pearls. So I will add, you know, it's amazing how quickly you can lose things. Here's my pokey tool. So I use just a small one. A medium. You know, it's easier for me to just use my scissors. And a large. And you have the first card. If you could see it, got the light's not the best there. You can kind of see it. And then just write on it. So that's using basic beige. Hang on, I'll get the second card ready to go. Okay? Let's see here. Okay, we're back again. We're going to be doing this card, and this is super easy. The designer paper has 2 sheets in it that has all punch outs on it. I absolutely love it. I have a bunch of them in my little cup here too. So I just love it. So the paper is the, oh my goodness, it's in the suite. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'm going to draw a blank. Lynn Starzl has a video using the Storybook Friends, and she has the name on there, but it's in the suite in the mini. And I am using wild wheat. That will be a color that's going away. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I am using Cajun Craze, 5 1/4 by 4 for the front of the card. And then this designer paper, Timeless Plaid I think is the name of it, comes in 6 by 6. So what I did is I cut this 3 so I could get 2 cards out of it. And I went from the top here to the bottom here, so it's by 5 1/4. The extra piece I have in another little container that I've saved, so I can use that on another design on another card, so I'm not wasting anything. Using this die for the frame, and it's on an adhesive sheet, ran it through again and got the centerpiece for this. And what critter do we have in here? We have the little lamb, so that's the one we'll be putting on the front of our card. The envelope will be stamped in, I don't remember what I stamped it in. I'll have to figure that out. This, when you cut your basic beige, you always get a little strip. I save those, and that's what the sentiment is going on. So you kind of use all your stuff. So let's get started. We're going to fold this, mountain on the inside, burnish it, add our paper. Now you can put this here, you want to make sure you get it even. And if you put it right here, you've got 2 squares, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you know you're in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and get my adhesive. And we're doing 2 and 2. So it's going to be right there at the top. And then you know you have it straight. Okay. The next thing we'll do is we'll put it on our card. And that will go, have your border around there. So look at all your sides. We'll take our adhesive sheets, take those off. And looks like all the pieces came out. Again, you can do your trick to see if you want to put it up higher. I decided not to because this guy is elevated, so I'm going to put him flat. Oh, my thing didn't stick. Ah! And then I am going to elevate my little lamb. There's baby ducks in there, so I had one lady that turned hers into a baby card because she put little baby ducks on there. And what I did is I just put it over the top of the frame. Okay, our hello friend is stamped in Cajun Craze. So one thing I like, I've said this before, Stampin' Up! Makes these stamp sets so they fit on these little pieces. I think what I did is I did the rock thing. Okay, so we are going to cut, and you can flag it or however you want. I just cut it, and then I'm going to add a couple dimensionals. I'm going to use the baby dimensionals, not baby, the smaller ones. Maybe get that one off. Okay. Save this piece, and then I'll put this in the inside. This card goes together real quickly. I did use very vanilla envelopes. And what I'm going to do is I will stamp the rocks. There's a little bit of just add a little bit. Okay, and there's your card. Get ready for the third one. Okay, we're back. We're going to be doing this card next. This is a pop-up card. Nancy Dodge had did a card in the birthday bash, Wildflower birthday bash, and she had it a full-size card. My upline, Lynn Starzl, remeasured it and made it smaller. It still fits in the envelope, but it's not as wide here as a regular card. You can see the little bit of difference. But the reason is because I wanted to be able to get 2 cards, and how she did, to get 2 cards out of one deal of cardstock. So I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock because I've already cut everything for this card. There's your kit. There's a lot of die cuts. In order to get these 2 pieces for your card base, there's 2 pieces. You take your cardstock, you cut it in half, which is 4 1/4, and you cut it in half, which is 4 1/4, or 5 1/2. So 5 1/2, 4 1/4, and then you'll get your 2 pieces. And then I scored them at 1 inch on the long side. If you can see that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold mountain ends, fold and burnish. Fold and burnish, and we got that done. Okay. The window sheet is 3 by 4. And window sheets come in 12 by 12, so that way I could get more out of one sheet. Also, for the garden is 4, so it fits perfectly. So that's another reason I did 4. Also in your kit you have, this goes on the front. Again, I used 3 by 3 or 3 inches on the 6 by 6 designer paper so I could get 2 out of each one. The frame, I did not put adhesive sheets on it because it's thick enough I could put glue around it. So this is the 3rd frame in that bundle. This is the carrot. I already went ahead and stamped it with black memento, and we're going to color it. This is basic beige. I ran it through again so it would fit in the center. This is for your sentiment, Happy Spring. I've already done your little shovel. We'll color the handle. This scrap is 1 by 4, and it's to stamp the cabbage and another little leafy thing on it, so we can die cut that. And then this is just a scrap of crumb cake. We're going to stamp our watering can on that, and then this goes in the front. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and stamp the cabbage first, and set that aside. And then we're going to stamp our watering can. On and then what I like to do is, I don't know if I have any up here or not, is take a blender pen and just kind of, it's a little wet, and just kind of color in and highlight a little bit. Give it a little bit of, just kind of give it a little rustic look there. So nothing perfect on it. Okay, I am going to pause this while I die cut this. Okay, I'm going to run this through. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. So this and this and this. So I'll be running this through the die cutting machine all at the same time. This one, this piece, and is this the right one? This is not the right one. Okay. It's this one. You gotta have the right, or is it the right one? No. Let me find the right one. It's in the vegetable stuff. So those, I'll run all these together at the same time. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So we have these all die cut out. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and color my carrot, and I'm using light Cajun Craze, and light Old Olive. Well, this one's not working very. Let's do this pointy thing here. So if I am shipping these to you, you will not get these stamped images because I cannot send stamped images. But you can either stamp your own if you have the stamp set, or use flowers or whatever stamp set you have, which is fine. And then I'm using a little bit of dark. And a little bit of dark, just to kind of highlight. And then I'm also using light Cajun Craze on the handle. It lightens after it sits a minute, so you think, oh my gosh, that's dark, but it'll lighten up a little bit. Okay. The main thing about this card is showing you how it goes together. And there's different ways of putting these together. I'm going to set these up here on my little window sheet. There's different ways you could use adhesive. Lynn has done a video and she does hers a little bit different than I do mine. So this is how I do mine. I use tear and tape, and I put 2 rows of tear and tape. Let me get this piece tore off here. Get a fresh start here. That's exactly what it's called, tear and tape. And I put a second row. Don't worry if you go over because you're going to cut it anyway. And while I have the tear and tape out, I'll go ahead and put some along here. And along here. It's always easier to do when you're not on camera, but that's okay. All right. Let me turn this over and cut this little piece off here. Okay. Okay, before I take my tear and tape off, I look at my window sheet. I use my grid. I got it lined up there. And I don't want this over the top. Remember, I want it, and I don't want it down too low. So you're going to have to put it in the center. So it's Some of my ladies put it right to the top, some put it down a little bit lower, so it's your choice as long as you don't go above or below these two lines. And then I look to be in the center, and again there's 3 and there's 3 squares, 3 squares, 3 squares, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. So I know this is about the center. Okay, so I'm going to take that and take my tear and tape off of one side here. Okay, line it back up. And 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Kind of make it at the top. 1 2 3. I just want to make it kind of hard to see, get my head in the way here. Okay. Then I take my other tear and tape and I use a flat surface. It's totally flat, there's no bumps. I line them up and I squeeze. And there's my pop-up card. The next thing I do is I will add this piece here. I die cut. It's in the thing, and you can stick little vegetables in there. So I am going to adhere that right to here, and I'm going to want to make sure I can stick my vegetables in there. So I'm going to and then I have my little, I lost a little, there it is. Okay, so I want to get the little, see there's little pokey things, get them out. Okay, so here's my cabbage, and I'm going to adhere it, but I just want to kind of look and see what it does here. So I'm going to kind of stick that there because I know I have to adhere it. And I'll be sticking this maybe right here, and then maybe my shovel will go right there. And I need to put that open a little bit. That'll go right there. Okay, so this is where your silicone sheet comes into effect. This is my cabbage, so I want just a little bit of adhesive here. So I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive. This is kind of hard to put adhesive on, so I'm just going to kind of stick it on there and stick it. Maybe I'll stick it in here. Okay, and then I'm going to put my cabbage in there, and then my watering can, or my shovel, excuse me, my shovel is going to go Now you're saying, ooh, you're going to put adhesive on the back of this? I am, because when it dries, it's okay. Now, if you're going to use the punch outs, the punch outs from the designer paper, I'll show you. They're. Hang on a second. Let me put this here. Put that on there. If you use the punch outs from the paper, they're white on the back. So you could actually put these on there. You can actually add another person here. Stick him there. You can add some flowers. But if you're going to die cut from the designer paper, then you can add white to the back of it. And this will dry. Okay, I promise. Okay. Now we're going to add this to the inside. Somebody asked me, do you put it at the top or the bottom? You can I put mine at the bottom, but you could put it at the top or you could put some on both. Okay, so we have that done. Now we need to do the front of the card. I cut this piece, let's see, it's 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. I wanted to cover the whole front of the card because I wanted this piece to be 3 and I just needed a little bit of a border. So that was my rationale behind that. So let's go ahead and put this on. Seems like I have rationales for everything. I don't know. Okay, so this is going to be it's not quite on there straight, is it? Use your bone folder to help you if it's not quite straight. You might want to use glue because you have more maneuverability. But so let's try the glue. We might have a little bit better luck. And I'm putting it down. And there, that's better. Okay? All right. Then we're going to add this. To the front, and then you're going to have just a little bit of a border. Okay. Then your frame, now you could put it in the middle. I put it to the side because I wanted more of the paper to show. And I did use adhesive. I did use some glue on that. Okay. And then I'm going to add my, I'm going to put this flat because I'm going to elevate my carrot. The carrot is going to be popped up. I am trying to do, I know this is a long video, but you have all 3 cards on one, so you kind of have an idea the cards they do for the product-based classes. We did Layers of Beauty last month. This one we used Storybook Friends. And I am going to stamp Happy Spring in Old Olive. on my sentiment. And I am going to flag this one. So you all probably know how to flag, but in case you don't, I love watching different people's videos because you forget about certain things that you can be doing. So I'm going to cut it here. Get it, maybe cut it straight, okay. And the flag is just, I go in the center, and then corner to piece. Well, that didn't work. I cut too far with my finger, so I guess we won't flag it. I want to show you though how to flag it. If you're going to flag something, you go in the center and then you cut and then you have a flag. But obviously I didn't do that on this one, so we're just going to go with what it is. And I am going to dimensional this up as well. Remember, it's your card. Change it up. I had ladies putting the frames in different spots. They changed it into a baby card again. I mean, they really had a good time with it. So there we go. Okay. Now the envelope, what I did, since I have a carrot on the front, I did stamp the I don't know what I did. Oh, the stamp set. I did stamp in actually Old Olive. So let me clean this real quick. Did stamp this in Old Olive. Look at that. Handmade card. And then I want to use a few blends on this, and it bleeds through. So I am taking a piece of paper because I don't want it to bleed through. And I'm going to color just a few of the carrots here. This sets off with the carrots, and then just a few of the leaves. And remember that if it's smudged, that's okay because it went through the mail. So obviously the mail had some issues with it. Okay. And there's our card. You have your carrots, you have your watering garden, and you have your little carrots on the front. That's the 3 cards that we did. Next month, watch for it because I will be letting you know what the next thing is. What they also got in their packet was designer series paper and 12 sheets of the 6x6 too as well. So they can continue making cards on their own because they'll have the designer paper to work with. So this is Debbie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I hope you enjoyed this very, very long video with 3 cards. Thank you. Bye.